So allow yourself to find your chair or your cushion. If you're on a chair, you can settle your feet if you need to put your feet on something. If, like me, you've got short legs, perfectly formed legs, you might need to put your feet on something. Otherwise, on the ground. Have a sense of the heels dropping away. And if you're on a cushion on the floor, you might feel your knees drop away. General rule on the floor is that your hips are a little higher than your knees, or level 2 or higher than your knees. Gives you a lot of space and ease then in the hips. So all of you can settle in the sit bones, kind of back end, or the thicker part of the pelvis, towards the back of the two bones, not the tailbone, but the sit bones. And have a sense of those settling and the knees extending away a little. That kind of quality of your base is stable. And take a moment not just to kind of go through that with instruction, but feel it. Those sensations in the lower body and in contact with the ground. You can feel and you can allow kind of sense of coming to your seat. You can almost sigh yourself into it. Coming home to your cushion, your chair. And coming home to this short place of practice. We could go through some intricate instructions for sitting, but the bottom line in all I say is that you are comfortable. There's quality of ease to it. So you're not unsettling yourself with ideas of an idealized posture or a way to be. Comfortable doesn't mean collapsed. It means that there's a quality within it that you can sustain without unnecessary effort. So if the base is stable, you might find that there's an access then to a nice open quality through the length of the body. You can think of kind of soft lengthening through the front of the spine as it faces forwards in the body. It's not necessarily a straightness, but it is a lengthened quality. And then your shoulders can settle, your ribs can settle. Think of the shoulder blades. You can almost imagine them drifting down the back. And the weight of the back of the arms can settle. Hands can rest. They might rest on the knees, but some of you I know prefer them in your lap, and that's fine. And that extension of the spine can carry on up through the throat. You can soften the front of the throat and imagine the back of the throat lengthening, base of the skull relaxing. Chin might settle a little. Don't overdo that, but enough to keep the back of the neck nicely lengthened. A kind of buoyant quality to the head. And perhaps feel that quality between the upper back and the back of the head. Let the jaw relax, almost as if the lower jaw can drop away a little from the upper. Some space in the mouth. Relax tongue for now. Eyes soft. Relax the forehead and the temples. Kind of sense of width across the forehead. Sense of ease at the temples. Kind of muscular mask of the face can soften a little. Think of soft eyes, compassionate eyes, whether they're open or closed. Perhaps a slight downward gaze. And just take a moment to sense that which you call your body, the feeling of being there. We've instructed it in kind of component parts. Pelvis, spine, shoulders, hands, etc. But as an entity, there aren't really divisions or borders. They're just signposts, labels. What's the felt experience of being there? You don't need to give it a value, but you can tune into it a little. It's not impossible that certain areas of the body call out to you a little more than others. Perhaps they need to be given some attention. You can perhaps soften in the kind of area that's that little bit more in your awareness. You don't need to label it anything. It's not necessarily a niggle or a pain. It's just a slightly denser sensation, at least in your kind of way of experiencing it in this sort of practice. You might need to soften it or almost allow it to ripple out or open up. I sometimes think of it unfolding like a flower. So you can just take a minute to let your mind track through the body and see if there's anywhere that could unfold a little more, could unravel a little more. Again, we're coming into that sense of being very kind of easy in the posture, easy in the way we are. You don't need to hold on to anything in particular or give yourself a story about anything. That's a different practice. When we've got that quality of ease or that sense of relaxation or in the process of relaxing, find my words, when we're in that kind of way of being, that kind of loosening, letting go, just introduce the sensation we call breathing. It's there all the time, but bring your awareness to it. And again, don't kind of think you need to breathe in a particular way or a yogic kind of way. Just feel where you experience the breath right now. Might be as simple as the movement of air at the nose or some movement in the body. Perhaps the feeling of your skin against your clothes, the movement of skin itself as the body distends on the in-breath and draws in, contracts, condenses on the out-breath. Kind of moves towards the midline as you breathe out. And be kind of curious, as if you were looking for the very first time. And there's a kind of lightness in that, kind of playfulness in that. A bit like a child watching an insect or walking into a toy shop, wide eyes and, ooh. Be a little bit intrigued about this sensation we call breathing, or sensations, plural, we call breathing. And the beautiful thing about being conscious of breath is that it's never the same. Moment by moment it's shifting. And if you do it with that kind of open quality, non-imposing quality, you may find that your breathing relaxes as you relax, or settles as you settle. It might get softer, lighter. Don't worry if it doesn't. Just playfully, lightly, kind of with a bit of finesse, lightness of touch. Stay with your breathing. And then can you relax the watcher? Can you let any kind of instruction go? You don't need to tell yourself how to do this. Just let the feeling of the body be there. Let the feeling of the breath moving or the body responding to the breathing. Just let it all be there. Give yourself lots of kind of time and space. Loosen the kind of doing of the process. You don't need to think you're meditating or think you're practicing. You're just being. Just let what unfolds unfold without interfering. Just get out the way. What comes, comes. Let it go. Or it goes of its own volition. Things rise, they're there, and fall away. Kind of dreamy, drifty quality without collapsing or zoning out. There's still a subtle thread of mind awareness in place without any sort of heavy-handedness. Kind of dissolving of the sense of body, the sense of minding. Breathing just happens, body just is. You don't need to ruminate or work anything out. No present concern. Nothing niggling you about yesterday or the past. You don't need to project. Think forwards. You don't even need to kind of tell yourself to stay there. You can just let be. And final instruction before we settle into silence. You're allowed to enjoy this process. to make a transition, just become a little bit more conscious of the physicality, if that's the word, of the breathing. Maybe take a sigh or a yawn as you need. Or a gentle blow through pursed lips. Allow yourself to feel the body again in connection with the floor, cushion, whatever. Maybe blink the eyes open if they were closed. And let yourself become kind of conscious of the space, the world around you. Colours, shapes, forms, feelings, noises. And gradually you can allow yourself to engage with your environment, your world. Almost from that feeling of ease, that sense perhaps of quietude, or I don't want to put words on it really, but that relaxed state, or that more open state, a little bit more responsive.